Hello and welcome back to another Colonel Barker Starcraft 2 commentary. Today we're on Daybreak, and we've got a game between Feast as our blue Protoss player, and Nesta. Once again, Nesta, my second commentary with him, as our red Protoss player, our red Zerg player, which is fantastic. The last game I casted yesterday was just so intense. It was so gigantic. It was just explosions everywhere, losing tons and tons of units, and all kinds of exciting stuff. So many drops, so much intense dropping. And I think this is my first commentary without any Terran in it whatsoever. This is my first non-Terran one. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Feast coming out with a pylon just near his expansion, his natural expansion, so I imagine he's going to be expanding relatively early on. So that's going to be good and fun. I've noticed my voice has been getting very, very dry during these recordings, so every now and again I'm going to sip a drink. So we're here on Daybreak, which is quite a fun little map. We know there is only 2 positions you can possibly spawn in this game, so trying to spot the opponent is not necessarily a problem, but scouting it is. So Feast's probe just coming in, having a look. I think he's a little bit surprised that we're sitting around about, what, 2 minutes 50 now, or 2 minutes 30 rather, and there isn't an expansion, so he's sitting there trying to prevent that. And what will Nesta do? He'll come out with a third straight away. And this quite often happens because of cannon harass and all kinds of other harass that the Terran and Protoss players can do. The probe players, the players who want to just play with probes. I played that once; it was terrible. But so what he'll do is he'll come out with his third expansion as his second, and then when he can warp in some stalkers in a few minutes, oh god, I know what I'm doing. When he can warp in some Zerglings in a few minutes, he'll come along, take out that probe, then take his second base. Feast coming out with a Forge Fast Expand as per usual, so which means pylon, forge, then an expansion, and I imagine he's going to try and wall off in this direction here, and that's just going to try and prevent too many Zergling run-bys coming along and getting into his main. It's not going to stop the Zerglings getting to the probes that are sitting here, but it will stop them. And if there's a cannon, photon cannon sitting here, any Zerglings that come in have to come up, in, and around through there. So he's just going to come along, saturate there. We're sitting about 4 minutes in, and he's just coming in with these double simulators. I imagine he spent most of his minerals so far just making sure he gets pylons up, gets his photon cannon out, and his expansion. Out comes his first warp gate at 5 minutes in. And as expected, here comes Nesta's third expansion in his second expansion position. As per normal, we've got overlords hidden everywhere, just out of sight. Just trying to keep as many eyes on the map as possible. Out comes this the spawning pool, which will just let him finally come out with some Zerglings. And we'll just look at the production tab. I don't think we have any Zerglings coming out. No, we're just sitting queen heavy. And Feast just probing up and finally coming out with a zealot, and which should usually be covered. It should usually be followed very I know how to speak, very quickly by a stalker, and there comes that stalker. If I managed to say the sentence quicker, I would have said it before the stalker started coming out. So now the gate will be, I imagine that the gate is going to be coming out as a warp gate in the not too distant future, which will just help him be able to warp those units out anywhere he needs them to be. And there's that warp gate research coming there, which is fantastic. It's one of those things I absolutely adore about StarCraft 2 over just regular StarCraft. Out comes that queen, making some more bits and bobs, doing that queenie stuff. I wish I knew more about the Zerg players. As far as I'm concerned, it's all just goo, but goo with tumors. And Nesta doing a very good job again of just trying to get as much map control as possible, just putting down those tumors in order to get vision. Out comes a Stalker and a Zealot. Where are they off to? I imagine they're going to check the Zelnaga towers. Yep. See what's going on. Just check to make sure that the 4th hasn't been taken. I'm fairly certain he knows exactly what's happened with the 3rd already. Gonna come in, take a bit of harass. Spots that, takes out the Queen. Along comes the 2nd Stalker. They can be friends, they can be lovers, but thanks to that recent update, the Queens have become rather good at protecting their hatcheries, which always makes the Zerg players quite happy. Now out comes what, 15, 16, or 14 in fact, Zerglings running through. Feast being a tiny bit greedy and just going for his 3rd. I mean, he knows that Nesta has his 3rd. So just coming out with a very, very well protected photon cannon. And that's an amazing position for it between these 2 warp gates. The warp gate has to be physically taken down before the photon cannon can be. And Feast very, very quickly saturating that. So first base, slightly oversaturated. And a Void Ray. I think he's spotted that. Yeah, Roach Zergling, nothing too exciting. I think he spotted that Nesta is sitting very, very ground unit heavy, and air unit is the way. Air units are the way forward. Out comes another Void Ray. Not fantastic at taking out these units, but some fantastic force field action there, preventing Zerglings getting through. On the other hand, they've just snuck through, and because of the sheer volume of them, they're going to be taking out those probes. And it's just to stop those probes. Stop them so that they ignore the probes, which are now being used to protect whatever units are left. On the other hand, he is losing a hell of a lot of probes. Hell of a lot of probes indeed. On the other hand, as it currently is, Nesta is behind. He is nearly 1,000 points behind Feast. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if Feast now pushes out after that slight victory. And as a sort of retaliation, Nesta is coming out with a 4th expansion of his own, trying to keep. I think he tried to deny the 3rd expansion for Feast, didn't. So in order to keep that one basic expansion increase, no, not increase, that one base expansion aboveness, whatever the phrase is, he decided to come out with one anyway, which is being protected by those 2 Queens, which will very quickly take out Void Rays if he's not careful. Now, in response for seeing this Void Ray transition, we have got 18 Mutilisks coming out simultaneously. But it doesn't look like that's what Feast is going to stick with. I think he's going to be sticking primarily gateway units. He is going his blink research, extended thermal lance. So we're going to see some Colossus. There's the Colossus, and Zealot. So actually keeping away from being too air heavy. I mean, fortunately the Stalkers are reasonably good at dealing with Mutilisks. Where are they? Where are our Mutary pals? There's a swarm of the little buggers coming along. I think those Void Rays have voided their last ray. I think they're out. Watches the Stalkers run away. I don't think they are capable of handling that in their current numbers. Of course, the trouble with Colossus is that they can't deal with sort of Mutalisk harass, and it looks like Nesta is sticking primarily Mutalisk heavy. Not much of a transition at all. He's got a handful of Zerglings. I see probably learned for the last game. But the advantage of these Mutalisks is they're so fast that they can just run in, knock out a bunch of probes, then run away again. Especially when they start to get sufficient numbers. I mean, especially we're talking, what, 20, 22 Mutalisks as is, which is a reasonably high number, frankly. sacrificial overlord there. I don't think he's going to last terribly long. On the other hand, I suspect Nesta is somewhat preoccupied at the moment, trying to protect well, I mean, everyone is. I mean, trying to protect 4 expansions, and down here, an overlord dropping some creep just to prevent that expansion, because of course Feast is going to want to expand just to try and match this level of 4 expansions. Here comes a little push, which is going to be met by a lot of Stalkers. Colossus. See, there's Blink Stalkers. Once they get up and underneath the Mutilisks, that's when they're going to start taking some real damage. So we're sitting 200 supply for Nesta and 186 for Feast, which is near enough 200. And I think what's going to happen is if Feast tries to push out, Nesta is just going to punish him by taking out his 3rd base, because of course with his army out and away, he's not going to be able to defend particularly well. Extended thermal lance still on its way out. Oh, watch out, Mr. Colossus. So what's Nesta going to do? Not Nesta. What's Feast going to do in return? Rather than trying to defend this, he is just pushing out. I suspect he's about to lose a lot of probes. The probes return. However, Mr. Feast comes along, denies the 5th expansion of Nesta, and rather than continuing his assault, he is retreating, running away. The question is whether Nesta will be able to take out, whether Feast will be able to take out Nesta's 4th expansion before he manages to get back. I think he's in with a good chance. Although the spot line crawlers are very good, they're completely unupgraded. But I suppose Feast only does have these add 2 upgrades. Force shields preventing any splash damage going through, which is which means he's able to last that little bit longer. But now the Stalker numbers are quite high. Ooh, those Mutalisk numbers are actually much higher than I was expecting them to be. I must confess, which probably explains why he's running away. Oh, tactically retreating. So he's going to run up, try and take out this 4th base. Meanwhile, is this the best time to be expanding, I wonder? And if he doesn't spot it. So we're going for a straight base trade at this stage. Those Mutalisks will be able to take all this out without a problem. So Feast, as always, is going to be, in the case where you're doing a base trade, oh, that 4th has been denied, or is about to be denied, yep. Meanwhile, Feast runs through, takes out the to-be-landed 5th, the 4th, the 3rd base is about to fall, and now it's just a matter of who manages to take out each other first. Whether Feast can actually knock out, if he can knock out the 2nd expansion, I think he's got it. But on the other hand, with the sheer volume of warpins, oh, no. There's not that many warpins. There's only 4 warp gates left. And these Mutalisks, this is going to be tough. It's a matter of whether Feast can do this. Supply cap we're sitting at 164 as opposed to 114, because of course these the Zerg player can reinforce that's so much faster. In come the Mutalisks. Oh, it's a matter. And out comes another hatchery. And the main base has been pretty much entirely destroyed. In such high numbers, these Mutalisks can take out any cannons whatsoever. Now, there are no more warp gates, or indeed almost any tech whatsoever for Feast here. On the other hand, he has denied just about all the buildings and expansions for Feast. I have for Nesta, I have no idea at all who's going to win. At all. Not a clue. Not a clue. Nesta hurries, he may be able to take out the last couple of pieces of tech. Because I don't believe, if we have a look at the the units tab, that no, there is one more Feast. Feast has one more probe. Now he's been revealed. Now he's been revealed, those last couple of buildings are going to be painfully obvious. And it's just literally a matter of who is going to take out who first. You know, who's going to run out, because I imagine both their economies are both economies are near enough completely dead. And if these mutalisks manage to take out this nexus and this pylon, then it's GG. Places another pylon, but those pylons are dead. You shouldn't have left it alone. On the other hand, he may need to just protect this nexus. I think, and I really do, I suspect, and I hate to think this, but I suspect Nesta has got this. But only just. And it's down to whether he can prevent these mutalisks getting to and denying this expansion. And there's a slight amount of mining coming on here. The tiniest amount. What have we got left? Oh, this is tight. It's possible he may be able to split his forces and go out and take this expansion. If he can take out this expansion... Oh, there's mutalisk forces sitting both sides. He knows that if he loses this, he's out. And I imagine as soon as he goes to defend it, these forces are going to drop up the top. I imagine if the Stalkers are going to blink underneath. Can they do it? I think he's just terrified of losing any of these Stalkers. Ooh, tense indeed. Both players don't want to leave the game. So what have we got left up here? Just an extractor, and that is pretty much it. A handful of drones and a stalker. So this looks like the final engagement. No? Oh, looked like it was about to be the final engagement. Come back. Oh, come back. It's there. That's what you want. And out come a handful of stalkers just to harass this base. On the other hand, Feast might have it. If he manages to take out this expansion, the mutalisks need to defend it. Need to go down and actually defend that base. Oh, come on. Has he lost too many stalkers? Has he taken them out? Come on. And Feast calls the GG! Oh! So close. That was a fantastic game. That was so close. If I think if Feast had come along, taken out this expansion, it would have revealed the handful of buildings he had left. Unfortunately, he perhaps sent away too many stalkers, which prevented him from actually defending against the mutalisks attack. On the other hand, if he had just stayed there rather than running away with the stalkers, he could have taken out that base and perhaps gotten back before. Anyway, well, it was an exciting, fun game. So tense. So absolutely tense. Thank you very much again for watching. We'll have another StarCraft 2 commentary coming up for you guys on Monday. And I hope you continue to come back and like it and subscribe it. And if you enjoy it, I'll continue to make more. Thank you very much.